Hsiao. Okay. So Alan is the founder and CEO of Cognitivo, an AI development company based right here in Stone and Chalk, and also has been recently accepted into the NVIDIA Inception program, and we're working with them now to, I guess, drive adoption and usage of the NIM infrastructure because we use it ourselves. So without further ado, please welcome Alan.
Thank you, Jason. So Jason's responsible for getting us into this close partnership with NVIDIA, and I'll say the reason why is because it was all about innovating proof of concept, and cloud was very good, it's very convenient. What you quickly realize is the costs add up, and when you're scaling out, you need to go further into the stack, further upstream. So that's really important now, and the industry is really only starting to get there. But I'm going to just talk more broadly about kind of the career aspect, right? Like when I was probably about 10 or so years ago, everyone was super good at cloud and API, and I used to be a coder, and I went to do banking, and I'm like, how come I've sort of lost touch? How come they're good at that, right? And it's all this thing about investing in advance, seeing where the trend is going to go, and then picking up the skills. So getting those deep learning institute, vouchers, and then doing that and learning that in advance. There will be a little bit of a lag, but trust me, you won't regret it, right? So I encourage everyone to get into that. So in terms of AI, there's been various estimates in terms of the gross value add. The global AI software market, it's about $250 billion US, but various estimates put the gross value add of applying that in Main Street companies, in pharmaceutical, in banking, in transport to be in the trillions of dollars, right? About 3%, 1.7 to 3% of global GDP. So there's roughly a 10 to 1 return for every use case. So you have to think about all the money that NVIDIA makes or all the money that OpenAI makes, that's going to translate at least tenfold when everyone else is adopting that. Right, and you can see that the average cost per Uber ride per mile in the US, it's like $3. Right now they got the driverless Tesla cars, and that's coming down to $1. When there's no driver in there, it's going to come down to 40 cents. Right, so that's really, if you're worried about job losses, I wouldn't worry about that because we're going to need so many developers to realize that gross value add. So that's kind of the first thing. AI is digital, it's software. So therefore, naturally, it's going to disrupt the white-collar jobs before it disrupts the blue-collar jobs. Our robots aren't very good at this yet. They're coming along, but let's say in 5-10 years they'll be fantastic. Then they'll be, fixing my plumbing. Right now, I'm going to be paying a lot more money for that. And then if you think about this, right, professional services. What is the industry that it's going to disrupt? I think McKinsey got like 100 billion token user or something like that. They're the highest user of OpenAI tokens. So, if you're a big corporate out there, really, what are you paying consultants to do? You might as well use those tools yourself. So various industries are going to get disrupted first. And of course, coding. Coding is totally born as digital, right? It's computers talking to computers. I mean, it's obvious that's really going to come first. And that's what we're seeing, right? It's no surprise. And that'll work its way around various industries. And the reason why I bring that up is because we have a lot of good technology, right, out there. That's amazing stuff, but it's the last mile. It's always the last mile that's hard. The domain application, that is hard. The tacit knowledge, right? The things you have to pry out of a person's head, right? That's what we need to replicate in software, in rules, in however your interpretation of building rules is with AI. The cost of software, I talked about job losses. It's been very topical recently. The cost of producing software is collapsing, and basically it's leveling the playing field for junior developers. So it's very good if you're coming out of uni today and you're an AI native person. It's not so good if you spend 10 years, well, I was a .NET developer, a couple of COBOL developers out there. I'm not so effective anymore. But all of a sudden with Databricks Genie, with Claude Code, I'm back in the game, right? So, but I'm probably less good at that than a junior developer today. So it's very good for junior developers today who are AI native, and therefore you are seeing there is a lot of layoffs in the industry, especially in the tech industry, because of that. And I don't think that's because it's not going to result in mass unemployment. Like I said, we're going to need to create more and more and more software, right? It's a rebalancing of what those skills are worth, right? So if you get a redundancy, what do? You got to pick up new skills, and then it's going to come back. See, because right now, if you can describe it, you can build it. We build AI software, and I think the way we want to go is, well, you design it, right? You describe what you want to build, then it builds it, basically then and there. So if AI can't design it or build it, I don't think we want to build that at all. That's where we're at, right? And that's just the Ford Model T model. Ford Model T kind of approach is we're going to go for the lowest cost option of development and scale that out as fast as we can through every industry vertical. That's our strategy right now. And if you can't describe it, you talk to the AI and ask it to describe it for you, right? So getting AI to help you build AI software, right? That's where we're headed. And software that writes itself, what that means is the death of Saas, right? And what we call software hyperinflation. Back in the old days, I would say, if you look at this, right? Back to the old days, 2010, it's not that long ago. Infrastructure was very hard. We needed to buy a system from IBM, right? A big data warehouse or an MDM system. We needed to order the hardware 6 months in advance, and because of that, we tried to get everyone on the same version of software, right? As in big programs, so it was not very agile. Then Salesforce comes along and they're like, oh, hey, we got this software, you just turn it on, it's fantastic. But everyone had to use the exact same version of software, right? And they sort of try to convince you that it's industry best practice, SAP. Everyone should do things the same way. Well, how do I differentiate myself with my competitor, right? But it's industry best practice. Then we saw the cloud era, right? AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, right? Now you got DevOps, and it's very quick to spin up these servers, right? So basically, everyone's got cloud, so you can build your own software, and that's really great for consultants. So now we're building more software, right? So all of this is about more value add, more business agility by building software faster and going from assembly code to higher order programming languages to now English as the programming language, right? So we see that abstraction and the value and the time to value shorten. And the next paradigm, what we see is that, well, you go to a tool and you say, I want to build an application that does this. You talk to it and it designs it, then it builds it, and then, well, why do I need to? I just deploy it then and there. So this integration of design, build, and deployment, you're shortening that. And the unit of software is going to be, well, you talk to this agent, it's got all the MCP tools, it's going to do what you want, and you've got your own personal agent sitting on your shoulder doing things for you. We don't need to use even enterprise software anymore as consumers. It's your software interacting with someone else's agent, right? So the unit of deployment is getting smaller, and the pace of that is getting faster. And you see that, so I say basically Salesforce is worth a lot of money, but because everyone's going to write their own software, it's just a CRUD database, really, right? It's not going to be worth very much, and you can see that. Everyone's trying to get out of that. Satya Nadella said, essentially, they're CRUD databases with a bunch of business logic. The business logic is all going to these agents, and basically, once you've got all the business logic somewhere, you just replace the back end. So everyone is rushing out of Saas. Saas is dead. We're going to the agent world now. You need to learn those skills. That's the whole point. What does that mean for Australia? We want to grab a slice of those trillions of dollars, right? Open AI, all that, LLMs. So it's really about context engineering. What I did see, you correct me if I'm wrong, Haritha, is there's going to be $26 billion of investment in an open weights model for a language model. And we love that because the whole world, we specialize in neurosymbolic AI. What we do is we take knowledge graphs, which are representations of real world things, like world models, relationships between people, objects, bank accounts, products, and we use that and build a long-term memory around that and inject that into the prompt and the context of a large language model, because we can't fine-tune, we can't train, right? They're closed weights. But now with that is we compare PAIR, a semantic model with a language model, get this to train that, and get this to kind of help us build the semantic model as well. Because building rules and real world models are very costly and time consuming. The AI can help that, but the AI lacks context. But now with the two being put together, I predict an even faster acceleration of the reasoning game. So if you sort of think that's coming, what do? What's Australia really good at outside of mining? We're very good at services, right? We're very good at accounting, we're very good at finance, we're very good at law in the region. And what we got to do is we got to export that to build our national prosperity, right? But if you export a lawyer, you export a banker, they pay Singaporean tax, we don't get any benefit. So what we got to do is we got to take that know-how, put it in an agent, and export that. Right? And that's our path to prosperity. Everyone's worried about jobs, a lot of developers here. You can see the number of developers in every country is roughly proportional to the size of their economies. In other words, there's a race to get more and more developers. The Chinese know it. You can see that they're pumping up their numbers a little bit there. They say they've got 9.4, they've probably got around 4.5, right? So there is a competition to get these developers with these new skills. 5 developers are now combining into 1 developer, but that 1 developer will build, or there's a demand to build 10 times more software. That's my view. So what do we need? Like a GPU laptop is pretty expensive, right? So no one's coming out of uni with some of these skills, and that's really been why AI is not really taken off. We've got billions of dollars from our super funds going into infrastructure, right? Data centers, everyone's in data centers says they're in the AI game. I sort of say they're in the aircon and property game, but we need that. However, the problem with that, with our national prosperity, is that we're investing all of our hard-earned capital and savings to run foreign-owned software, right? And I sort of call that a little bit of tech imperialism. Right, and it happened with social media, and it's happening again with cloud, and it's going to happen with AI, right? So, as a group of developers based in Australia, I think we need to send the message of we need to focus on how do we build better software, more software, right? And we need developer infrastructure, right? We see all these investments in huge data centers, but no one talks about building a lab. Right, the concept of a public library all those years ago is where people come together to gain knowledge. The modern library is a lab, right? Where are those, right? So that we need to tell the government, there needs to be focus on developer enablement, right? And there's costs associated with that, right? Building our own software, building our sovereign prosperity. That's the piece that we haven't heard a lot about. So that's it. I would say that there are some pizzas out there. So join our community, Australian AI workers, and it's people working in AI or workers using AI. I think it's all going to get blurred. But we definitely need to form up as a group of industry workers, an important group of professional services workers. And I think this is where the value is going to go. We're going to lose jobs, but we're going to build an industry of even higher paying jobs. But that needs to be focused on exports. So I'd go share that message, and I hope you join our community. We will be putting all of the DLI Institute credits, Jason, within our group here, and other goodies, and we're also giving away an RTX 5090, aren't we? No one talked about that, Jason. Do you want to cover that off?
Great, thank you, Alan. Thank you, Alan. Great, thanks. Exciting part of the evening. We're going to announce we're going to run a RTX 5090 giveaway, and the way you can win that for your organization is to have as many of your colleagues logged in to this website here, register for a free virtual ticket and watch as many of the sessions as possible. And at the end of the 26th of March, we'll announce the organization that that's going to pick up the RTX 5090. You got to at least watch about 10 minutes of every video, right? Okay, so I'm giving you a bit of a hint there. Now, but individually, we actually value mindshare and thought leadership. If you watch a session and you really like it, please publish it, your thoughts into the Australian AI workers community, right? We're going to announce for the next 10 days, actually, 10 days, we'll be giving away free DLI vouchers every day, okay? So that's 30 up for grabs, I think, the next 10 days. But we'll read through it from the community, and we think the best, the most insightful free post that you share, we'll announce the winners there, okay? So just go back to what I said. Get onto this. Register your ticket. Watch some of the videos, and give us your thoughts. Now, we did say we're going to give away 5 DLI vouchers right here. Stand up in. So if you can, we're going to ask some questions from this morning. What Jensen? Anybody watch Jensen's keynote this morning? Yeah, cool. Right, great. So if you answer the questions, please go see Ian, and Ian's going to register your details and give you we'll give you your prize. So some of the news NVIDIA announced this morning.
Sorry, you can leave these out.
Oh, okay, great as well. Okay, thank you. Okay. What did Jensen say is the new unit of the economy this morning? Something starts with T.
I don't know. I was going to say a unit of energy.
Close. Yes, right. Yes, remember that. Okay. Jensen spent a little bit of time talking about the system that they spent 20 years building. Remember what's the name of that system?
No hands, Jason.
No hands. Sorry? Yeah, there you go. All right, just remember that. Okay. For gaming, what's the announcement around gaming? Oh, that's you. Yeah, so stand up.
DLSS 5?
Yes, that's it. Great, good man. All right, good job. All right. Okay. What's the stack they are NVIDIA is launching for AI agents on the top of OpenClaw? Come on, hands up! There you go. Let's go. There you go. How many have I given away so far? 4? 4. Just go see you in. All right. Okay, and also, just one. Horifa said, what's the architecture, open architecture you can log in and play around with? You can't win 2.
I can't win 2 either.
Hey, there you go. Hey, okay, thank you very much for your attendance tonight. And look, we'd like to see you again. You put your hands together for all the presenters. Okay. If you can give your details to Ian, we'll get your details and we'll send you the vouchers. Thank you.
I got my sticker on your back.